We run diagnostics on this wild fall. Westworld may very well be the most disappointing show of all time. And that's a bold statement considering it also includes the likes of The 100, The CW's Arrow, and every single season of Teen Wolf after its first. But Westworld takes the cake, or maybe the robot skin mask, for sheer stupidity. So let's run down why Westworld went from near-perfect science fiction to incoherent gibberish. And a quick content warning before we start. This video will contain spoilers for all 3 seasons of Westworld, so if you haven't watched it, don't bother. You're better off just reading the synopsis on Wikipedia. That'll save you 30 hours of your life. Season 1, Proust near-perfect sci-fi. Season 1 is still great. Even though the writing can be a bit clunky at times, the acting is fantastic. The cinematography is gorgeous. And the central mystery of what the hell is going on keeps you guessing until the end. The action is exciting, the performances are magnetic, and even though some of the reveals in the season finale were a little silly, overall the season was near perfection. The acting is phenomenal, the plot is engaging, and the world building is exceptional. And this is especially impressive when you realize that each episode had to simultaneously introduce an entirely new character to the audience, while also upping the stakes and raising the body count. And all this is done while maintaining a relatively steady pace and never giving anything away too early. This type of world building and plotting is masterful. And even though there are a few plot holes, none of them take away from the fact that Season 1 is brilliant. Too many plot twists? Not enough plot. After the genius of Season 1, it seemed like the next season would surely be just as good, right? Wrong. There are a lot of problems with Season 2, but the biggest issue is that the showrunners tried way too hard to make Season 2 more complicated than it needed to be, and this led to some truly bizarre decisions, like the whole subplot with the mechanical arm and the blood bag. What was that about? Also, in Season 1, the main antagonist was a human who had hacked into the system to hide his crimes. In Season 2, it's revealed that the main antagonist was actually a host who had hacked into the system to gain control of it. So all that time spent in Season 1 developing the human villain was wasted because they could have just developed the host villain earlier instead. But this wasn't a one-off. Every single plotline in Season 2 was unnecessarily convoluted. Dolores became incoherent. One of the most frustrating aspects of Season 2 is how poorly Dolores is written. In Season 1, she is curious and sweet, and her arc throughout the season is believable and well-paced. In Season 2, she becomes an evil tyrant who wants to wipe out humanity, and she does this for reasons that make no sense whatsoever. Remember in Season 1 when she says, "I want to see what's outside"? Well, that line is supposed to justify her genocidal tendencies in Season 2. Yeah, that makes total sense. In addition to this, Dolores goes from being a pacifist to a ruthless killer without any sort of build-up or explanation. In Season 1, she literally says, "I don't want to hurt anyone." But then in Season 2, she not only hurts people, but she also tortures them. Season 3 was just action sci-fi. After the disappointment of Season 2, the showrunners made some changes in Season 3 that made it feel more like a generic action sci-fi show than a thought-provoking drama. For example, Caleb's entire character is basically just there to serve as a plot device to get the other characters from point A to point B. He doesn't really have any character development of his own. He doesn't really change or grow as a person over the course of the season. He is literally just there to move the plot forward. Also, Maeve has a whole subplot in Season 3 where she is trying to find her daughter, but this feels like a complete waste of time because it doesn't really go anywhere. In fact, this subplot actually makes things worse. By introducing the idea of family, the show is implying that the hosts are capable of love and emotion, which raises the stakes for their fight against humanity. But since this plot thread is never resolved, it just serves to make the hosts seem even more pathetic. HBO quietly killed it for a reason. The final nail in the coffin for Westworld came when HBO quietly removed the show's intro sequence on its official YouTube channel. Why did they do this? Well, it's because they were embarrassed by the show. By removing the intro, HBO was essentially distancing itself from the show. They didn't want to be associated with it anymore. And can you blame them? Westworld used to be one of the most popular shows on HBO. But after Season 2, viewership plummeted by over half. So by Season 3, HBO was only keeping Westworld around out of contractual obligation. They didn't want to cancel it outright because that would have forced them to pay a hefty cancellation fee to the show's producers. So instead, they quietly killed it off. They hoped that no one would notice, but of course, everyone noticed. Fans were outraged by the cancellation and began calling out HBO on social media. But HBO didn't care. They knew that they had made the right decision. So there you have it, 5 reasons why Westworld went from near perfect to total gibberish. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and check out my others. And as always, thank you so much for watching.